Hello, welcome back to the world of Arklands and to Mai's Academy. Special shout out and thank you to our $10 and up patrons, Christian, Sam, Ditzy, Jean, Ian, and Milchunk. Excuse me. Check out our Patreon for behind-the-scenes content, bonus episodes, and whatever else we decide to put up there, including memes that have genuinely brightened my day.
You're so welcome.
When we last left our heroes in training, Elle had a experience. That previous episode might as well have been titled Elle Experiences Things.
You're not
Elle
wrong.
makes up for missing 2 sessions.
He found another crack in reality and decided this time to tear it open.
I put my hand in reality's crack, yeah.
Yeah, no. No. you take your one.
It's so worth more.
It is, but...
I killed Kiera.
After getting lost...
In the rift.
In the rift. Everyone else had to try and rescue him. With it ultimately being Elle calling out to Eri that got the attention of one of the figures in this white void and delivered Elle into her arms. They called Grave, who called Idris, to analyze the situation and talked about some theories. I was looking at my phone, making sure it didn't...
No, I messaged Kiera directly, not both of you.
No, because the theory is the...
Oh, yeah.
Make sure I didn't send it off again. Anyway, and after resolving that, we went to bed. The next morning, Eri gave Elle
a few magic items.
A few magic items,
items.
We had the cape of the
Montebank.
Montebank. I don't know. Staff of Healing, which is awesome. And the Pipe of Remembrance.
Yep. Which led to a very emotional moment between the two.
And then Elle gave Eri something.
Yeah, they kissed.
They did.
A little smooch.
Technically, it was Eri's fault because she gave him the peck on the cheek, and he was like, "Nope, can't do it."
Earlier in the episode. You
can blame her.
But that is where we return for tonight's episode. Roll intro. Alright. I do really quick... Well, actually, no, I can look it up after. I really wanted to... I should have done it in between, but I really want to know what the hell the SpongeBob thing is.
I sent some gifs of it.
She did.
Oh, where?
To the
memes.
general. Oh yeah, those memes.
I've seen the I've seen the huge... I've seen that done. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Kind of what I was picturing the whole time.
That is accurate. But yes. Welcome back. So,
There is no life in the void, only death. Lord of the Rings.
let's do 2 more weeks of classes and
cool.
the resulting downtime activity, if you have any.
Eri is going to try and do research on the Sphere of Annihilation.
Okay. So let's do classes first.
Okay. Can I still do advantage if I'm studying with people?
Yep.
Cool.
What was I doing last time?
You're doing perception.
Right.
You're doing intimidation. You're doing persuasion. You're still doing blade work, so.
Yep.
Great.
Yo.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm doing research on other things. Am I doing a flat roll?
You can also get the advantage from studying with someone else.
Okay.
So, yes. If you're studying and focusing entirely on your studies, you also get a +5.
Okay.
So, you are rolling with advantage.
Can I use my Eyes of the Eagle to get advantage?
Nice. Is that a nat 20?
Yep.
No, I think you'd be training without them.
But what if I did
Stop
train
it.
with them?
I think that would defeat the purpose.
But I would like advantage.
Then study with someone.
I didn't. I just rolled the dice.
Then you fail.
Skill issue.
How are you supposed to study with someone for perception?
Testing each other. There are ways.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I get a glasses prescription?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 6 on the die, so
That-
that's a
that's
total
just
of 6.
A fail, which is fine.
Can I not fail for once?
You passed 4 out of the 5 weeks. One of them being a nat 20.
Well,
Chill.
Oh, there was a joke there, but
Pass or nat?
Nat 20?
Yep.
wow.
Nice.
Yup.
So that's +3, I believe.
Yep. And Ari. You need to do one more.
I got a 13 minus 2 for 11,
Alright,
and
away
a
with these
10
dice.
minus 2 for an 8.
Imagine if it
Which I
had been-
think
pass?
does pass.
Yep.
Nice.
That's another fail. I rolled an
I
8.
got 2 nat 20s in my persuasion classes.
Dang.
What are you doing?
I'm testing my dice
Okay.
because apparently one of them wasn't going to cooperate today. Yeah, a lot of 6s.
Crow is distracted, apparently.
Well, she heard that Ari and Al kissed,
It's-
and she wasn't there for it.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty annoying. Also, if Kakari's there, she'd be staring at his ass.
Well, at least you're focusing on something.
She spends all the time looking for Kakari when she's in the air as opposed to doing what she's supposed to.
Sounds
She,
right.
she feels she feels upset that Elle and Ari have gotten farther than she and Kakari have.
I mean, they've kissed.
Oh, they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, kissing. Yeah.
Shut up. So, 2 weeks of downtime. So you were not here for this.
Correct.
You can either... I'm changing the way it's done a little bit. If you go on a mission, that no longer removes that week of classes.
Oh, okay.
So you can go on either 1 or 2 missions before it's like, okay, no, you missed classes that week.
Yeah.
Um,
Depending on the mission, like.
right.
Right.
So, if you are just at the school, not doing missions, then you can also do a downtime activity or focus entirely on the studies. If you focus entirely on the studies, you get a flat advantage on your checks for week to week. If you're doing downtime, then it's just roll as normal. Studying with others stacks on top of this.
Okay. Cool.
So if you're studying with others and solely focusing on it, you get advantage and a +5.
Okay.
Or you can study with others and have advantage and spend your downtime doing something else, like they are going to do research.
Elle, because he's not taking a class at the moment, is going to do something else.
Valid.
Yep.
All right, so
It's gonna research kissing techniques.
That may or may not be one of them, but
Bakara.
That's who Ari's taking persuasion classes from, because she needed to learn how to flirt.
that's funny.
No wonder she technically made the first move. She spent 5 weeks, 4 weeks with
She's
Bakara.
so excited to go to class and be like, Bakar.
That's the one you've passed every other class except week 5. And I think that's why.
Oh my gosh!
Because you were so
Inside,
enamored.
you've already passed the class.
That's
Yes.
amazing. I think Elle would focus more on imbuing magic in his crafts, in his smithing
Okay.
items.
Is there anything specific you're trying to make?
No.
Okay, but
he's
you're
just practicing
spending
the
time.
technique.
Totally cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So
There's
nothing mechanically that's
No.
going to add to anything.
Oh,
Okay.
we
no.
do have the ruby if we want to do something with it.
Ari's turning part of that. Well, she's turning some of the broken
She had
shards
the broken
into her
shards.
into
Crow
her
brought
tattoo.
back a whole one that Elle
Yeah.
and Crow had both mended.
That's right.
yeah.
So you already have fire resistance on your armor,
I do.
right? Okay.
So, I don't
The
know
thought
what
was
it's
to
used for.
turn it into potentially a speed boost.
Yes. that's what he's going to work on. It's
Okay.
going to take more than 2 weeks, obviously,
Yeah.
but he's going to start that process.
Okay, yeah, easy. And then you're working on, I think the visors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
We'll make some boots.
Um,
We'll make some.
So
we'll try to
in
make
that
some.
I was
case-
thinking to potentially upgrade the wings.
yeah,
You want the
add it
wings?
as
Okay.
like a core,
Like
into
a core crystal inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that. So do you want to like work together then, so that we can give
That's
each other
probably
advantage?
a good idea. So,
Well, technically, if
putting
you're
the
working on.
visors
So, are you
aside-
working both on this?
putting aside the visors for now to help Elle with.
Okay, so it
The
won't be
stuff.
advantage. But you have the. I think I'm gonna have you both make checks, and you can advance it by 2 stages each week,
Okay,
as opposed to.
that sounds good. And this takes 8 weeks to
To
do.
Probably, I don't think I gave a specific amount of time, but
We could roll for it to see what happens.
given, I think with both of you working on it, if you worked on it till the end of the semester,
Mm.
then you would get it done. So, yeah, I'll say, roll a d20. Honestly, you're just looking to see if it's a nat 20 or a nat 1,
enough.
because you're kind of just working on it consistently.
Fair enough.
Well, that's not one.
It's 19.
Anyone have inspiration?
No, I'm
I'm
not.
out. I used
Did I
it.
earn any inspiration lately?
All right, I have.
See.
Does he get an inspiration for kissing?
No!
I have lucky, so maybe I can turn this into a nat 20. Give myself advantage. And cancel out the nat 1. That's cocked. Once
I do
again.
not.
Nope, same number.
Yeah, then the first week is a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll for your second week, though.
Okay.
If you roll a nat 20 at any point along the road, then that negates it. So,
Nope.
It's 15 on the die.
all right.
No.
So,
Normal week.
yep,
Normal week.
that's fine. Airy and Caspian.
Cass would need to approach Crow and see if she was willing to let him look at the scrolls that Grape has. If her reaction is not going to be explosive, we do not have to play it out. Cass just needs
How would
permission in
Caspian
order-
ask it?
How are you gonna
He
ask?
would literally go up to her when she's alone and just ask her, like, "Hey, are you cool with me looking into the scrolls?"
Why?
Because I believe that there is some sort of connection between all of us, perhaps? It was something that Idris said when he was talking about our connection to the elements.
Yeah.
Air and water, you and fire, air and light. There seems to be a pattern there, and I'm curious how far the connection goes. I only ask...
And how much do you think you're gonna find out?
I have
You
no
think
idea.
someone's got it all figured out? Because if they did, they'd be talking about it.
Well, I could potentially be the person to figure it out. But I'm not going to know unless I actually try to do it. I'm going to research these things either way. I just need to know whether or not you're okay with me using the scrolls, because those are tied directly to you. And I know we've discussed that you don't want me looking into that. So I want to respect you, but I also still want to make sure that I'm finding out everything I need to.
I just... You're
So-
not particularly the knowledge guy around here?
No, I'm not.
Minus
But...
one of intelligence. So,
Minus 1 in
But I
charisma.
I have the motivation to do it, and I feel like it's something that needs to be done.
according to what?
Just a gut feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can only hold you back so long.
That is
Might
true.
as well just get it over with.
Thank you.
On second thought,
No, it's too late. You already said it.
come back here.
Cass will go straight to Graves'
Yep.
office to collect them.
Okay. Yeah.
Crow,
You'll
you're ready to go to the
probably-
forge. Why are you running after Caspian like that?
He will
So
probably.
she gets that one.
Yes, there you go.
She spends the whole time stressing about what Cass is learning about her in the background.
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
Why did I
Cass
give
would-
him permission to do that?
Cass would do all the studying in as private a place as he can find, which I assume he would probably ask Grave if he can use his ring.
He would allow it, but would say, I think you might have more luck just going to the library. It's a quiet space. No one's going to be looking over your shoulder.
Okay,
Unless
It's
it's
not like
rude.
these scrolls don't exist out in the world.
that's fair.
It's not like they're classified documents. It's just a matter of discretion.
Can I give him bardic inspiration for his study?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
I mean, that's if Cass goes
So,
to
okay.
you, which he won't.
That's true.
Okay.
So, for this, it'll be the same thing. Obviously, you have I'm going to give you inherent advantage on it
Cool.
because you have the scrolls that you're looking for. But otherwise, it's the same. Time.
I'm not gonna find it.
research. What'd you get?
7.
7. You get 1.
Oh, I get 1? Okay, cool.
Yep. So, what is your one question as you're looking over these scrolls and documents?
Cass is going to start with L's, the light beacon.
Yep. That would be called the Luxon beacon.
The Luxon beacon. Okay.
Luxon.
Okay.
It is dodecahedron in shape, 12-sided.
I don't suppose he would be able to figure out where it is. I imagine that's more or less of a mystery.
Okay, I'll give you this. Which one?
Which light beacon? Okay, so there's multiple? He would try and figure out if there's an original.
Ooh. A single original.
Okay.
light
Well,
beacon.
you looked into the question of where, so that would require more research. Essentially, the answer to your question of where is it is which one, as in the information you get is that there are
multiple. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But you have 2 weeks, so second week.
All right.
Get it.
Okay.
Also keep in mind that these are documents describing their traits, and like you wouldn't necessarily be able to find a lot on like current locations and things like that because you're specifically looking at the scrolls that.
Yeah.
And you're looking at other stuff as well, but yeah.
That's fair. All right, so I got an 11.
Okay, that's 2.
First question will be, what effects does it have?
All right, so this is one of the most well documented. The Luxon beacon gives you has the potential to. A creature that touches the beacon and concentrates for 1 minute receives a fragment of possibility. Which looks like a tiny grayish bead of energy that follows the creature around. Fragment lasts for 8 hours. When a creature with a fragment of possibility makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, it can expend its fragment to roll an additional d20 and choose which one of the d20s to use.
Oh, so it basically gives it advantage.
Alternatively, when an attack roll is made against the creature, it can expend its fragment to roll a d20 and choose which one of them is used. One it rolled or the one the attacker rolled.
So
So
you
it's
get
lucky.
to choose whether or not it's advantage or disadvantage for pretty much anything that happens to you.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
It is
A
lucky.
fragment of possibility.
Let's go.
Okay. How are all the beacons tied together? That'll be the second question.
That
That could just be like
so
the history.
I'm gonna
of-
tell you this. There is no record of them all being like of how or why they're grouped together.
Mhm.
They just have always been like there are lists, and it might just be because people found similar traits across these different things. One thing you do find on the topic of being grouped together is that there is a belief that the Luxon beacons, which are the most heavily studied, were at one point a singular entity that divided itself up into many fragments. Whether or not that applies to all the rest, or even is true about the Luxon beacons, is who's to say. But that is that is a theory that has been posited.
Okay. You got all that, babe?
All right, Amy.
Ari is going to research anything she can on spheres of annihilation.
Right. Yep. So you can spend gold if you want to.
I have 86 gold and 5 copper.
Never
to
mind.
You can use my gold. I got 21,000. How much do you want to use?
Remind me how much.
You can spend up to 300.
Do you want me to spend 300?
I don't care. I got 21,000.
I'll spend just 100.
Okay. So you get an additional +2.
Okay.
Spend the 300. Just do it.
Actually, wait. Sorry. You have to spend 50 outright.
Yep.
Especially if you're looking into things beyond the scope of your...
Even with Concord Library access?
Concord has not been especially accessible.
Well,
when it comes to
just-
this specific
but
topic,
like
though,
documents saying, hey, I'm from the Cerulean Concord, can I get into this library to do research on this thing?
even then, that would give you access, like you would still potentially need to pay. However, you can search the Cerulean Concord's actual records for some of this information, so we'll waive the 50 gold fee initially. But yeah, so you can spend up to 300. Every 50 gold gets you an additional +1 bonus.
Alright, so I guess he's insisting. I'll use all 300.
Alright. Do you want to roll both at once? So it'll be up to 600 for 2 weeks worth. And we'll give you 2 rolls to get as much as you can.
Sure. I'll do
Alright.
one at a time.
Yep.
So the first time. Alright, and this is what kind of check?
This is a flat intelligence check.
Intelligence. So that's 13 plus 2. So it's 15.
Plus 6
Plus 6 is 21.
from the gold is 21, which
Nice.
gives you 3.
Okay.
Nice.
And then the second week.
Yep.
It's a 5 plus 6. So an 11.
11. Hey, that's 2. So you have 5 questions total.
That's worth it.
Alright.
It's almost 100 gold per question.
Give or take.
Hold on.
Remind me what the spheres are again.
It's the thing that Thalian's looking for to destroy the weave.
Got it.
Black hole.
Got it. That's right.
I spelled annihilation wrong. Okay, I'll fix that later. Okay. First question. How many known ones are there?
Known? At least a dozen. But most of them are... The problem is... there are records of them popping up in different places and times, and then they vanish, and then another one pops up, so it's like, oh, is it the same one? Is that an entirely different one? Who's to say?
Okay.
But there are facilities across Arklands that are known to have some.
So there are at least 12 facilities.
Give or take. And some of them are, it's like, oh, the rumor is that this one has one. It's not factually known.
Okay.
And that's not to say anything about how many are in criminal circles or anything like that.
Alright. Thalion was in southern Mire, near the border of Usona, heading north. Where would be the closest one to his last location?
The closest one to his last location would be south of where he was.
Okay, then heading north.
Heading north, not a lot of known places in Mire. There's one place in Usona that's known to have one for decommissioning extremely powerful magical artifacts. They notably don't have a talisman of the sphere to control it. They have it as a stationary thing, like deep in the basement.
Is there trash goes there?
Kind of, yeah. It would probably be at I think it's Fort Summer, but that's way north at the tip of Usona.
So, might not have been his first priority. That might not have been what he was
Which would
going
be-
for. But
And because the next closest one to him would be the lab that L is aware of in the mountains of Eris. That's basically
The gnome
the
particle accelerator.
particle accelerator. They have one.
Okay.
Basically, in case something gets out of hand and they need to.
Stop it.
Yeah, but they also they are known to have a talisman of the sphere.
Yeah. So the one that doesn't have a talisman of the sphere wouldn't have a competing talisman
Correct.
of the sphere if you were to bring it there.
Yep. There are easier ways to get there than how he was traveling.
Maybe he's got other stops along the way.
Potentially.
Yeah. So Ari has like a little map
Yep.
that she's written down, and she kind of like makes a little mark on it.
annihilation.
Yeah. Just she has a code and everything that she's making notes on. Okay, so I have 3 more questions. Annihilation. Okay.
Crow and Elle walk in at one point to check in on Harry.
She's a
And
conspiracy
she's
board.
got a conspiracy board. And he's, hey, Eddie, how you doing? He's here. I know he's here.
I don't know, DM, I might need some help. Because I'm trying to... Aries basically trying to figure out where Thalion would be getting one from. What's going to be the easiest to access. She already kind of knows how it works. So there's not really a lot I need to do with that.
Okay. For one of the questions, I'll tell you this. Fort Summer, theoretically, could work. But it is one of the... Other than Providence, which is the capital city, it's probably the most heavily guarded location in Usona.
Okay.
So,
All he needs to do is get in there, and then Orb of Annihilation a path out.
sure, but getting in there is...
Yeah, especially now that he doesn't have the Concord clearance to be able to wave in people's faces to
Yeah.
get him in places.
Assuming they've been updated.
You'll also-
or
Oh, they've been updated.
if he's
Yeah,
not the
everyone
one
knows.
that goes in to get it,
Yeah.
someone else who has Concord clearance.
They have...
Fail saves.
They have fail-safes to, like...
It's also not... The Fort Summer is not a Concord place.
No. It is a... basically military town.
Yeah.
Where... you need to go through, like, Zone of Truth, Dispel Magic, Zone of Truth, Dispel
so
Magic, like,
Melissa's
multiple
illusions
layers
wouldn't work.
of, no, you are, if you're coming in, you are going through multiple layers of security.
So this is what the security at the Elysian Concord should have been, but wasn't, because somebody's a lazy little bitch.
Now, to be fair, getting into the Concord does have some...
Yes. But
it
getting
was-
into the archive should have been more difficult than
Yeah.
it was for Thalion.
There might be one in the Cerulean Concord in Usona.
Yeah.
But
He definitely is not getting there now.
definitely not. So I'll say this in answering that same question: You can't think of a way for him to get one. Not reasonably so.
So you just have to be unreasonable.
Would he sell it to someone? Or have someone else go fetch it for him?
No, it's just a concern. Right. I can't think of a way to reasonably get one.
Nothing that makes... It's not that it's like, oh, you're not thinking creatively enough. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense. His actions don't align with that.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of just ease, it would be easier to wrest control from another... Like, the line is not above killing people.
No.
He could just go and kill the people at the Collider if he really needed one.
Yeah. So it's definitely... It's more... He has the talisman. It's sort of a, like... Plans F through G type of thing.
Yeah.
If it comes across his path, great. If not,
I've
we're
done
skipping
every
it.
plan from A to Y. A to Y. What about Z? Plan Z? Oh, look, there is a Plan Z.
It smells like lemon.
This is now a level 0.
We were quoting the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
We were.
I know,
Okay.
but it was in the same tone.
Yes. Okay. So in that case, so that was 2 questions. Could I use...
3.
Or 3. So
2 left.
I don't really have anything else to ask.
You can use them on tangentially connected things.
Okay.
I like how
The weave.
Okay.
to...
Gonna need to get more specific than that.
Does Arklands have, like, ley lines and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they
Researching-
are.
Why not, Trey?
There are many, many aspects to this world that I have figured out in detail. That's one that I want and I know exists and want to be part of it, but I have not figured out yet.
Okay.
Ley
So-
lines
Yeah.
in magical concentrated areas.
Yeah.
Thinking of the weave as a whole, if you were to get a sphere of annihilation, or potentially all the beacons that he needs, where would be the optimal place to position?
Not on the material plane.
Mm.
Is that an answer to your question?
That is the answer to your question.
Okay.
The optimal place would be not on the material plane.
What plane?
Difficult to say. Elemental chaos could work, but that's chaotic.
He
I
doesn't
assume
mess
it's-
with anything he can't control.
You essentially need to get into the base code, and so surface level won't work.
He needs root access.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're talking about root access,
You need an admin terminal along with.
elemental chaos could, ethereal plane maybe. You could access, honestly, like the astral sea, but you would have to get close enough. So if you imagine the astral sea like space, you would need to get close enough to the material plane to access the weave, but far enough away to not be pulled in by gravity.
Yeah, and that's hard to do.
Extremely.
All right.
But not impossible.
No, definitely not impossible. If you were able to get a satellite to it, essentially, something that was orbiting it, you know, affected by the gravity but not drawn in by it, then that could be possible. The closest thing, but here's the problem: the material plane here doesn't have a satellite. The moon would be a satellite, but the moon isn't a.
Moon's not real.
It's not a celestial object in Arklands.
All right.
He
Fake.
could do it from Myron's domain if he found a way in. That would be. She's the goddess of artifice.
Yeah.
That would be a really good place to do it.
Okay.
But again, access, that's a god's domain.
Yeah,
That's-
Mayorin's not gonna let some guy just come in here and be like, just 1 second, I'm going to destroy the weave real quick. Everything your mother worked for?
Yeah. No, not particularly.
Yeah.
Last
He's
question.
not one to mess with the gods.
Yep.
Okay. Guys, help me out. What do we want to know about the aliens' plan?
What is it?
Well, it's to destroy the weave.
Oh, how?
Using the beacons and or sphere of annihilation.
How are you gonna get them?
Well, I can't really use my last question to piggyback on Cass's research.
They're a magic item. What's the question?
Asking about the beacons.
Asking about the beacons.
Yeah, okay, asking what about the beacons?
What's the most important bit of knowledge about them?
What we know about the Luxon beacon.
Yep.
We haven't told Ari and Elle about the scrolls and Crow's connection to the fire beacon.
Oh yeah, I figured Cass told that to you guys already.
Nope,
Ah.
he is not.
Well, that's on him.
And we know the water beacon is
we know
somewhere around.
We know where the water. Ari knows where the water beacon is.
Okay.
Um,
So last beacon that we don't know of.
Earth.
I guess
well, Earth
two.
and air.
Earth and
Yep.
light and air.
Yeah.
Well, Cass is on the light beacon. Ari's gonna look for
How do you use a beacon if you were to get a hold of it? Is it just like any magic item for mechanics purposes?
You just right click.
So for the Luxon beacon, specifically, the idea of getting a fragment of possibility is done through meditating on it.
Ah, okay.
It's presumed the others would have similar abilities. However, it's also known that there are lots of things they can do beyond that. That is scratching the surface. Each one of them is, and I'll tell you this just as a, so the Luxon beacon is not an original creation of mine. All the other ones are.
Okay.
Fire, earth, water, air. The Luxon beacon originates from Critical Role. Where it is essentially looking into it is like looking into, the end of the first Spider-Verse movie when the particle accelerator goes off to send everyone home and Miles is just like looking into it and you get this like room of everything like moving past Web of Life and Destiny. Yeah, it's like that.
Got it. Okay.
It is, they are in Exandria. They are holy relics of the Kryn dynasty. And in Critical Role, they allow people to reincarnate.
Ah.
If you are consecuted by a beacon, which is a special process, then when you die, your soul will, and if you die within a certain radius of a beacon, your soul will be reborn into someone else, and when they come of age, they will start to gain your memories, and eventually...
Nice. Isekai. I like it. Even though it's the same world.
Yeah, so, more...
It's the same world.
More akin to, like, Avatar. So, in theory, the others could do... Like, so that there's greater things beyond that.
And
each
Ari
one of
knows a
them-
little bit about, though her mom hasn't explained it in great detail, she knows a little bit about the Altius beacon and how that works. So she's not super interested in researching the Altius beacon because she can get all that from her mom.
Okay.
But known locations of possibly the... Let's go with the Earth beacon.
Okay. Well, technically that was your last question already.
What?
Was giving you all that information about the context of
Oh, that was my question. That wasn't her. Sorry. That was me opening my mouth. My bad.
There's 2 more weeks of the.
No, it's okay.
It was important context.
Yeah, important. I'll
So,
take the important context.
yeah.
It's fine. It's because that's
Sorry.
stuff that I, as a player, already knew.
But it was good to establish
But it's good to establish for
everyone.
everybody.
And Ari didn't know that.
And Ari didn't know
Now
that,
Ari-
and now Ari.
Now
busts
Ari knows
in and
everything
asks a
that
question.
Amy knows for the
Yes,
most part.
that is always
Okay.
good to have.
Yes.
Good.
So, final 2 weeks of the semester.
Oh, yeah.
Different dice this time.
I think we're still focusing on... Did you nat 20?
There you go. Cancel out your nat 1.
Yay! We're still working on the armor, right?
Oh, that was
No, the wings.
Right.
Yes,
Do you
the
want
speed
to
boost.
apply it to class or to wings? Because you need to cancel out that nat 1.
True. If I'm allowed, then sure.
Yes. I assumed it was for that, so.
Yeah.
You were going to have to make a roll anyway, so do
So
your
I'll do
second
the
roll for...
that.
Alright.
16 on die.
Cool.
2 of that. Alright. No, nat 20 or nat 1.
Cool. Then at the end of week 9, your wings have an increased speed of 10 feet.
Nice.
So I think that's, what, 60?
50 now.
50 now. Okay.
40,
Dang.
40 fly speed.
Yep, so fly speed of 50 feet.
Woohoo!
Well done.
That's really
I will
nice.
have to make a custom item. So I will take care of that.
The mobility for our fighter just gets better and better. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, so does hers by
So,
crazy amounts.
Good.
You know what, let's do the downtime activities first, because we're still on that, and then we can do the... Because we did their downtime.
Oh.
I think at this point, Ari's kind of just hit a roadblock because she's not. There's nothing she can look into. Like,
Well, if you want to now look into the Earth Beacon, like that's very possible. Also, if you're working together, it makes...
all right, she'll work with Cass on researching the other beacons then.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Does that mean, because I already have advantage, does that mean I get a or something?
Or do you want me to just make a separate roll?
You can, no, like you make a separate roll and then you have the
Oh, okay.
the combined questions.
All right.
I did roll for my classes already. I passed both, no nats.
Cool.
I just did my speed. It was easy.
Yes, I know, but that's going to be
3
marked as a whole thing. All right,
plus-
roll for your classes while she's doing that.
Nice. It's 18 on the die.
Cool.
So this is just a flat intelligence check. That's just a 5 on the
Yeah.
way.
5 gives you
Natural
nothing.
1.
Yeah. Ari's distracted.
His
Alright.
brains.
Rip.
Yeah, Ari spends the first week too distracted to help Cass, so she's gonna spend the second week just doing classes.
Okay, got
So,
it. So first week of class.
with advantage because she's studying. Well,
Good thing it's
it's
advantage.
7, so that's a fail.
Okay,
It's not a crit fail.
It's not a crit fail.
and then advantage and +5 because you're just focusing on studying.
Yeah, she has a rough week, so. Well, that's 2 5s, so that brings it to a 10 minus
That's
2
pass.
is 8. So, pass.
All right,
There you go.
and then
Oh, Ari has also removed the Necklace of Adaptation, and while she's researching the Sphere of Annihilation and the beacons, has the proof against location detection going on.
nice.
She doesn't want anyone peeking in on what she's doing.
Smart. Wicked smart. Woof.
All right. So your research.
I got an 18 for the first roll and a nat 20 for the second.
Okay. So
He's got
that's
it covered.
So that's like 4.
that's 6 questions total.
6
Good,
questions
nice.
total? Okay.
I could help him pick questions.
Wait.
Now,
What is it with the modifier for the nat 20? It's
19. I have a -1.
fair enough. Yeah, I think it's 4. Yeah, so 6
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Nice.
I had something I wanted specifically to ask in relation to the light beacons, but I think
Okay.
I'm going to move on because I can't remember it.
No.
To the, I mean, I might remember it, maybe, probably not. I'm going to move on to the Earth Beacon.
Okay.
that's yours.
Good.
Yes. What effect does that one have?
The effect of the Sacrum beacon,
Sacrum.
S-A-C-R-U-M,
Sacrum.
or Sacrum.
Okay.
Sacrum sounds better than sacrum.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Sacrum.
Sacrum.
Gives a fragment of artifice.
Interesting. Would not have expected cast to be related to that.
Cool. What does that mean?
With the artifice, an artificer takes mundane objects and makes them magical. It is the process of improvement of refining. So a fragment of artifice, essentially, yeah, let me double check. Yeah, allows you to. I don't have the exact wording of it, but a fragment of artifice essentially allows you to imbue an object with a spell.
Okay. Interesting.
Make it the equivalent of a spell storing item for a limit for probably like 8 hours.
What do these symbols mean? Like, are they just like somebody was like, "Oh, this will be a good symbol to keep track of this," or do like the symbols actually have like?
What do you mean when you say the symbols?
You know how like when you look at a chemical breakdown, like there's the chemical
Sure.
thing, like that's denoting a specific.
Mm-hmm. So sorry, which symbols are you referring to? Like that you've seen?
So the
Like the
sacrum has the square, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like what? Like
so
what does
they
that
are
mean?
representative of each of the beacons. Looks different.
Yeah.
The Altius beacon is a 20-sided polygon.
That's a
Okay.
D20.
Looks like a
Okay.
D20. The Luxon beacon looks like a D12 dodecahedron.
Okay.
The Sacrum beacon
It's
is
like the D6,
is a
right?
cube.
Okay.
The Tesseract.
Honestly, yeah, not far off. The well, yeah, you haven't looked at specifics into the other two yet, but
Yeah. Cast will take time to also.
I'll
look at
say
the-
for the answer to the second question, you get it is typically representative of the actual shapes.
Okay.
The
Okay.
fire beacon
Is a
is
triangular.
is triangular,
Pyramid.
a tetrahedron, and the air one is roughly diamond shaped, like a D8,
Okay.
an octahedron.
So when one day we come across them, we'll know for sure. Be like, that's a cube.
And you do.
I know that cube.
You find. I'll give you this. There's a reason that they're those shapes. That is those 5 shapes as a group is in our world what's called the Platonic solids. They are
Platonic, bro.
We're just
Yeah.
friends.
Platonic, as in Plato, the philosopher, who believed that is what atoms looked like, and that each one
Based on
made up a different element. He literally thought that, the reason fire hurts when you touch it is because it's made up of pointy shapes that are hurting
Spiky.
you. Earth stacks together well. Water flows or rolls. Air moves against itself without issue.
It's an interesting theory.
And the reason he chose those 5 shapes is because those are the only 5 3-dimensional shapes where every side it has the same dimensions, and the angles between each sides are equivalent. So like symmetrical on a inherent degree. There's no
This
other.
one isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Angles are different.
Yep. Mix and match.
Yep. It's a real concept, which is kind of cool. And that's why you find these shapes going back to like ancient Egypt. It's like, oh, these shapes make sense.
Yep.
They fit in specific ways.
So Minecraft is so great because it's all earth blocks.
Yeah.
It's Cass's game.
So,
That's his game.
question 3.
I will use my next 2 questions to find out about
Fire now.
Yeah.
Fire is the Caminus beacon. Caminus. Which gives a fragment of creation.
Ooh.
Which essentially allows you to... You get a little orange spark that a fragment of creation that when you expend it, it's not dissimilar to a performance of creation where you can transform it into a non-magical object.
Oh, cool.
Anything less than 100 gold in value.
Neat.
Can't be too complex in its construction, but
Weapons!
it's literally just you can create out of energy.
Nice.
And for air, it's the Iteron. Iteron. The Iteron beacon, which can give you a fragment of exploration, which looks like a tiny red ethereal feather, which can give you the ability to teleport a short distance when expended.
Nice.
Misty Step.
Misty Step for 100 feet.
Oh my gosh!
That's nice.
A short distance.
How many of these can you have at one time?
From different ones, you can only have one from one beacon,
Okay.
and it can only give out one per day.
Okay.
So
you
if you
can't-
had all 5, you could possess all 5 at the same time.
You could possess all 5 fragments.
Possess them.
And as a bonus for those, since you spent 2 questions getting that information, there is something you can get from the Altius beacon too. A fragment of lore.
Ooh. Just as an FYI, Cass will relay that information to Aerie.
Would Ari have known that yet?
Your mother has never meditated on the beacon itself. It's been held in holy reverence, never used.
Yeah.
A fragment of lore is essentially a single community question.
Fair. So is it a one use and then that's it?
Yeah, and after 24 hours pass, it can get out another
okay.
fragment.
I thought it was about like you use the entire thing.
No. You literally
It's
you
gone.
focus on it and meditate on it, and then you get this little mote of
Okay.
something
Yeah.
that
So does that use it up like overall, or it's just an infinite? With
it's
time?
more like radiation. It's constantly emitting and exemplifying these traits, and you're just kind of catching a little bit as it, and kind of just, there's, I mean, in theory, it's expending it, but they are it, and so it's kind of infinite.
Yeah. Cool.
For my next question, and if I have to pick a specific one, I'll pick fire.
So this is question
How-
5.
How are the beacons powered? Like, where do they draw their energy from?
So I'm going to answer the question by denying it.
Okay.
They're not powered by anything. They are an energy source.
Okay.
They are.
I mean, that basically answers my question.
Yeah. It's not like they draw from the weave. It's.
They are an innate power.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
They work in an anti-magic field.
That'd be pretty crazy.
They are just inherent building blocks.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. I got 2 questions left, right?
One more.
One more? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel like I gotta make it a good one.
Hey, you've gotten some very good information.
I have. And you know, honestly, if I really need to, I can always do some more research.
Yep.
Cass could spend a whole year researching this if he really wants. Do the scrolls say anything about their creation? I don't remember if I asked this.
I'll give you that for free. No.
Okay.
It is a record of something that was discovered. That would be like finding the Wikipedia page of iron and being like, okay, how was iron made? Like the chemical element of iron, which technically we do have an answer to, but it's
Yeah.
But yeah, these were things that were discovered, not. And if they were made a long, long time ago, like before.
I mean, I suspect, I'm sure Cass suspects this now too, that they came from the previous world.
I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it, but there is. I think you had stepped away for a moment. There is a story, and it's unknown whether or not it's true, that the Luxon beacons, and there are multiple of them, were once a singular entity that divided itself up.
Yeah.
So that's one theory, but that, yes.
Is it spelled with an N or an M?
Luxon.
Okay, you've been saying M this whole
No,
time.
I just talk with Luxon.
Luxum.
I've heard Luxon
Yeah.
every time.
Same.
I see your lips close when you say it.
Because I also finish speaking after I say it, so my mouth closes.
Luxum beacon.
The Luxon beacon.
Luxem.
Definitely sounds like an M.
Kiera's
Whatever.
just bad at hearing today.
I'm just bad, okay?
She finally got her eyes fixed, so now her ears stop.
God.
Alright, does anyone have any suggestions for a good
Yeah,
last
so final question.
Where's Crow's beacon?
Well, he's been over that. It doesn't state that.
How many toes does Caspian have?
I don't think it's a question about the beacons.
Oh, okay.
We could change the number.
Would Cass be able to use that question for, like, other research to be able to determine the location of
Within
something?
reason. I would say it would have to be at least tangentially related,
Okay.
because you're using, like, that's what gave you the advantage.
How
And
do I
Yeah.
find a beacon?
That's fair.
That's a good question.
How
How do you go about actually locating one of the beacons?
well, that's not going to be written in the schematic.
Well, I've
Did
answered
discover it before.
Okay.
they are powerful, and they are energy sources, which means they emit what would be the magical equivalent of radiation.
Oh, so, like, if you could tune into their frequency, you'd be able to home in on them.
Now, you couldn't find them, like, anywhere in the world, but if you got nearby, you could definitely hone in on it.
Yeah.
Nearby, if you could be within a mile of one,
Yeah.
and
If
you
you.
knew the right
You could
frequency,
start out with the Altius.
you could absolutely
Yeah.
look into it and
Just probably how Valiant found the Altius beacon.
focus on.
Mm.
Now, again, it wouldn't give you, like, once you're within 500 feet, it's not going to get you any more specific because everything around it would be saturated in that. But it can get you the right general vicinity. Depending on how sensitive your equipment is, or the spellcasting, or how high your spellcasting ability is, that could increase the range at which you can detect it.
Okay.
Alright. And with that, exams.
Oh, right.
So, and you have to get to participate. So, roll a d20.
All right. Do I have any modifier or anything? Can I give myself
I
advantage?
think it would be your strength.
Okay.
And no advantage, though.
Can't even use lucky?
You can use luck.
Okay, cool.
What am I adding to this?
So, I have it written down. Give me a moment.
Use luck. Much better.
What'd you get?
Flat 20.
That is a pass. You are officially proficient with glaives.
Yes!
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Crow,
5.
you have a +6.
11.
All right, so that's fail on the first one.
Ooh, 16 on the die.
16. All right, that is a pass. You gain a +1 bonus to
16
perception.
plus 5, right? So 21.
Yeah, but it's still, you failed the first one, so you have a chance to ace it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Caspian,
I'm
you have a
drawing
plus.
myself to roll.
You have a +8.
Nice. Okay.
So-
I don't add my proficiency or anything.
No, you are making a intimidation check.
Oh, that's right. But it's what's the what do I have to reach?
Your DC is 19.
19. Oof.
Bless you. You got this. You got this, bro.
I do got this.
Yes! Let's go!
That's a +8, and my intimidation is a +4, so that's +12. So That's high. 28, yeah.
Okay. Pass. See if you ace it.
What's the ace?
24.
24. Okay. Ah, man!
Roll another 16, bro.
I always roll
Roll another
so
16.
well on the first one, and the next one is going to be, yep, 6. So I don't
6.
ace it.
Hey, that is still a pass.
Pass.
And Eri, you have a +9.
Wow.
Wah.
Ooh, wow. Sweet. 11.
+9.
11 minus 2 plus 9.
18.
That's a pass. Let's see if you ace.
Yeah, that's an 18 on the die. Minus
The
2.
DC is
25.
18.
Yeah.
So, you
Nice.
gain a +2 to persuasion,
I have a +0!
a +1 to perception, and a +1 to
You are
intimidation, and
average.
proficiency with glaives.
Added.
And with that, you complete your second semester. And you level up. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Finally.
Are you doing that
So
now?
is that the-
I'm doing that right now.
Is that the end of year 2 then?
No.
No.
You're halfway through your
Oh, okay.
It's the equivalent of Christmas break right about now.
7.
Yep, but it's summer break.
Oh, I gotta
Yes.
make some new cards.
Because they do it.
That's right.
backwards. So what is that?
More
D8?
magic.
They do it in a way that actually makes sense, where they align it
True.
with the year.
Yeah. And Eri gets her tattoo, I assume, somewhere in there.
You know what? Yeah, I think it makes sense to do that during summer break. Grave has some time off from school.
Yeah.
You're probably not going back to the Concord.
No, Eri had already planned to basically spend the entirety of the break with her mother.
Okay.
So it would
Then
have
before
been,
you
before she leaves.
Yeah. But you had something that you wanted to talk to Grave about.
Oh, right. I think it's sort of as he's getting everything set up to do
Yep.
the tattoo. So you aren't going to use any kind of anesthetic, right?
Especially for ones this big, I typically do.
Could you not?
He's going to make an insight check.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Wow!
So I think that's
This is-
without pulling up his sheet, I think that's a 37.
This is a layered
Yes.
response.
He soul reads you. What
Yeah.
does he see?
It's a discomfort at the idea of using it. For a multitude of reasons. Eri... He very clearly can see that Eri wants to feel whatever she's going to feel with this tattoo. And a strong hesitation to use the anesthetic, both for the previous reason and also, it's like when you mention you're going out to eat someplace to someone and it's like a food that they're like, it's like talking to someone who's severely lactose intolerant or like got food poisoning one time and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go back to this place that give you food poisoning. And it's just like, I mean, okay, but I don't want to.
You have had negative experience with it?
Smell bothers me.
That tends to happen, but it's more than that. You don't need to be in pain, Eri.
I disagree on that.
That that as going to be a longer discussion, but especially with that in mind, I am not comfortable putting you through this, especially if you, on some level, believe that the pain is necessary or deserved.
You don't believe I can handle it?
That has nothing to do with it.
Maybe on some level I do feel like I deserve it, but I can handle it.
I know.
You didn't know when the dragon's there. You didn't think that I could tolerate you, like the rest of my team, thought I would freeze up at it.
No.
I can handle
Eric,
being in pain.
none of us believe that you cannot handle it. There is concern when you leap towards it. In the dragon's lair, it was not a fear that you would freeze. In fact, it was a fear that you would press forward.
You didn't have that same fear with Crow.
Crow, physically, has a thick skin.
It wasn't about the physical at the time. That was never mentioned. It was never even brought up.
Yes, because
Because
I
you don't
believe-
believe in me.
no, because you are one of the most direct and logical. You are probably the most direct and logical person on the team, and so I don't think anyone felt the need to bring it up to you. Because the fact of the matter is, Crow, other than myself, is the best suited to literally walk through fire. Not for any mental reasons, but just physically. For the exact same reason that if someone needed to dodge out of the way of an arrow or an attack or walk their way across a beam, you would be the obvious choice. And not choosing Caspian or El or Crow for that is not a lack of belief in them. Honestly, it's a matter of efficiency.
I understand.
I don't think you do.
I mean,
Why
that's
did it have to be you?
Didn't.
Your reaction says otherwise.
Looking back on it, you're right, it didn't.
No, but you felt like it did. I'm not necessarily interested in the logic.
I'm not interested in having an interrogation with you.
This is not an interrogation, Harry.
You're right, I'm sorry, that was rude.
Harry. Deep breath. Look at me. I'm asking. I'm not telling. I'm not demanding. And I'm certainly not trying to interrogate. I would like to do this for you. But I also don't want to hurt you. Can I tell you a small story?
Sure.
And you must not mention that I told you this. When I found Crow, she was using every method I could think of to destroy herself. Picking fights, drinking, far beyond what any person could, let alone should. Barely bringing herself to bed and then waking up the next morning and doing it all over again.
Glad she's not doing that anymore.
Indeed. I offered a hand, and eventually she took it. I would never have given her a tattoo when she was in that state, because I do not believe that it would be healthy. Not when she was seeking ways to make herself hurt. The reason I do it now, despite the fact that it causes the same amount of pain that it would have, is because the hurt is not at all part of why. Now, Crow being Crow, she'll probably make a comment or two, but that's not why she wants a tattoo. She wants a tattoo because they're fucking cool.
That's verbatim, alright.
Well, it sounds like Crow to be that vulgar, but
Indeed.
I don't want a tattoo because it causes pain.
No,
I want it as a defense.
I agree, which is why I want to give you one. But I don't think the reason you turned down the idea of anesthetic is... well, you get the idea.
Well, I suppose either way.
There is medicine, a different medicine I could use. It honestly would not usually work on an elf, but you tend to actually sleep.
No, I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't want anything messing with my head.
Understood.
If you talk to me through the process, I think it would go better either way.
All right.
Distract me from the smell of it and just...
Then I'll make you a deal. You can ask me any question, within reason, about me and my past. And if I'm able to use the anesthetic, I will give you the answers while I apply the tattoo.
Sounds fair.
All right.
And are they in like the... You
I
said there
think-
was like a medical suite.
Yeah. There's like
Because they wouldn't do it in like his office.
No. Yeah. Well, his
You
office
could.
might have a medical suite in
Yeah.
it.
That would probably
Or like
be
his-
where
his-
Aerie is most
yeah.
comfortable.
Cool. All right. Ask your first question as he begins to.
Yeah. Aerie hesitates to remove her shirt. Even like... just keep talking so I don't...
Yes. First question.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. Believe it or not.
Somehow I figured you'd say that. Be that or black to match Crow.
No, that's his.
It can only be my color. You have to pick a different
And
one.
believe it or not, I do have a life from before I met Crow.
Well then, what was that life like?
Well, and I think as he starts talking, he turns around while you take off your shirt and lay down, and he starts to.
It's whether she didn't ask him to get Elle because she'd have her shirt off and Elle would be real awkward about it.
Yep. Finish your thing. Then I have questions about a particular spell.
Okay.
He's going through some.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The rest of you, if you want to level up while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, I already did.
My
Perfect.
level up is easy. I
Yeah.
don't really
I
get
don't
anything.
even use this ability.
Polymorph. CR level is equal to the target's level. Does that mean that I can choose a CR 7 creature to
Correct.
polymorph into?
That's kind of bonkers.
But you take on the mental stats of it.
It's the same.
We'll get into that. I think polymorph has to be a beast.
Oh, I'm looking at a beast.
Beast you looking at?
Yeah.
What animal are you looking at?
Giant ape.
It's not a monkey, it's an ape.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
We have the same intelligence.
Yeah.
Alright.
So,
Taking polymorph.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
yes, my life before Crow.
You're gonna get
If you knew me before I started at the school, it would be somewhat similar. I spent most of my time traveling. Before being hired at the school, I was a traveling doctor.
Yes, you mentioned that's how you found Crow's Village for the first time.
It is. I had an illness called shade sickness. Something that grows in the shadows. Magical illness. But there was one little girl running around that wasn't sick yet and was determined to help. And even when I tried to turn her away. And she was actually able to. It was mostly running rags, washing them, bringing them back, wetting them. The things that just made my job easier as I tended to people, but nevertheless, it did help.
You said before Crow. It's not exactly before Crow.
That is true. It is before I took her on, because I left and spent the next 15 years or so doing the same thing, traveling around Vala, sometimes out, especially if there was an outbreak of something in specific regions. Been to Eris, been to Maya, even Waimalier, briefly to Paradise, but never staying in one place for long. I would travel, go back home, travel, go back home.
You stayed home for long?
All relatively speaking.
Even with your fiance?
Yes, I always visit her. And spend as much time as I can. But the more time I spend at home, the more people might be dying of something they don't need to. So it never felt right to stay for long.
Even though you love her?
With every part of me.
How did you meet?
Grew up together.
And sorry, I don't think there was ever you mentioned her name.
Joy. She lived maybe 3 doors down from my house. It was just... The tieflings choose their virtue name at many different ages. Many choose it when they come of age, around 15 or so. But she knew what hers was going to be from almost as soon as she could talk. And she did embody it. I don't know a single person that didn't have a smile on their face when she walked into the room or brought a gift or paid someone a compliment.
You said did.
Oh yes, growing up.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Insight check
With
this
disadvantage
man.
because you're laying on a table.
Okay.
Doesn't that make it a flat roll for you?
Oh yeah, it does make it a flat roll. Alright, I'll just roll again.
Yeah.
They were different enough numbers. Natural 20.
You can't make this shit up.
Absolutely a deflection.
Grave, if you don't let me deflect, I don't think it's right for you to either.
It had to be you, didn't it?
How dare you use my
Even
spells
Crow
against
would
me.
I don't think they would catch that. But, ask your next question.
How long has it been?
Difficult to count the years. I was 17.
When you got
As was she.
engaged?
We already were. It was more of a thing that kids do, or at least looking back, I'm sure every adult in the village was like, oh, they're being so cute and saying they're engaged. I meant it. So did she. And then an illness swept through the village.
So what inspired you to be a doctor?
It is.
I think that's very brave of you.
No one knew what to do. No one had the skills or the tools necessary.
Did you also get sick?
No. It was some kind of recessive trait. Seemed completely random who it would strike and who was spared. And that's when I chose my name.
The one who was spared from the grave. I'm sorry, that was...
No, it's alright. There was a question that someone put forward about a mass grave. And I refused. Because every single person deserves one. No matter who they are or what they've done. And so, at first I dug them alone. Others came and helped. But I go back and I spend time with her. And Crow's been there. If you would like, I intended to invite your team during this year's Days of Remembrance.
That might be nice.
And bring your mother too, if you'd like.
I don't know if she'd leave for that long.
Fair point.
Have
There's
you
no offense if you decide to spend it with her.
If what?
There's no offense
Okay.
if you decide to spend it with her.
Have you ever thought about bringing her back?
No. This was over 20 years ago.
It's not so long.
Maybe not for one such as you.
She would be 17, might make things a little awkward.
Just a bit. But everything I knew about her, she's at peace. It would not help her to come back.
Would help you?
I don't know if it would. I love her with everything that I have, but I have helped many, many people to make sure what happened to her does not happen again. It's even why I'm here. I may not be teaching you all medical skills necessarily, but I am equipping you with knowledge and tools and skills to help people that need it.
I understand that motivation very much. Feels good to talk about it, doesn't it?
Sometimes.
Well, if you press us on talking about what we have going on in our heads,
Only fair.
no
So
one
it's
has...
my job.
No? Then there's no one to do it for you.
Like I said, I did intend to invite you all.
I mean, Cersei seems very interested in talking to you.
Not about
Claire's
that,
not
though.
That's Kiera commenting.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Of course. I made a promise.
You did. You have any other family?
My parents have. They passed 10 years ago. Old age. I was a fairly late addition to the family. No siblings. But
Does make it easier to travel.
it does. A neighbor watches the house while I'm gone. And I have Crow. The scrangly little sister or daughter or whatever else.
Now she's the cat.
Sort of a niece.
Yes, something.
Not that I would really know.
I don't know what she is specifically, but I do know that she is family.
Aww.
Have you told her that?
Oh, many times.
Has she listened?
Who's to say?
Disgusting.
She'll get it eventually, though. You know, I think she does actually know that.
Even if she doesn't want to say it.
No.
I was worried. If you mentioned your fiance once or twice and thought, why doesn't he talk about her more? Is she in some kind of danger, or you in some kind of danger? Because if I loved someone that much, I'd like to think that I would talk about them all the time. Unless it would bring them harm to do so.
I should speak about her more. Help carry her name.
Yes, everyone needs a little joy in their life, I think. Elle
Think
can't
everyone
provide
could.
that for everyone. He does try.
Congratulations, by the way.
On what?
Oh, I don't know what happened, but I know something did.
You're talking about him kissing me.
Ah! That's what happened. I just saw that something was written on your faces for the past few weeks.
Yes, I gave him a pipe of remembrance, and well, sparked conversation and then a hug, and I kissed him on the cheek, and then he turned his head and kissed me on my mouth.
On my mouth.
Which was nice. Unexpected, but nice.
I'm sorry, unexpected.
Well, yes. I mean, he sort of, I think, implied that he wanted me to kiss him before, and we were at the Concord. I told him it wasn't the right time, and then
Was this the right time?
it was a fine time.
And good. You should, It's a good thing you've been taking Bakara's class.
Yes, I aced my exam, so
Very
hopefully
good.
I'll be better at
Oh, yeah,
talking
she
to
did.
people. She had casually mentioned at one point that part of my specific exam was going to be asking someone out on a date. But I don't know if she was serious about it.
She was joking,
We've already been on a date. We
but
kissed.
It's not what a date
What
is.
else happens?
yeah, it's not to say that it wouldn't be a good thing to do.
So
Genuine
should I
question,
ask
do you
her-
know what a date is?
It's when two people go out by themselves and spend time together with romantic intentions.
There we go.
What an... Yes. Yes, that is an accurate description. I was about to describe it as an airy way of saying it. But I was like, you know what? No, that is well done.
Give her a win. She
I
needs
have
it.
read many books,
I would
some of which did discuss
advise
going on dates.
allowing your date, if and when it happens, to be whatever you and Elle want it to be, not whatever you might have read. And not whatever Bakara puts in your head.
Well, I'm trying to filter out ideas that Bakara put in my head.
Let me put it this way. She can and will give tools for you to use. But make sure your decisions are your own.
I technically have been on dates before, I think.
Elves tend to live a long
Yes.
time.
Well,
Is that something that bothers you?
that I live a long time.
That you live a long time and Elle might not.
And of course, it's why I didn't think anything would happen. Could or should happen. It's
But do
never-
you want it to happen?
What I want doesn't make reality
That's
different
not what
than
I
it
asked.
is.
Very, if I am certain of one thing, people like you and your team can change the world. I don't know what Elle's lifespan is, but
It's something I thought about asking the Prophet. And being half dragon might make it a little bit longer.
let me give you a piece of advice. A lifespan does not determine how long someone is going to live.
He's got a point.
So, if you want to be with him, then do it.
Do it.
Okay.
For however long you have.
Your dreams come true.
Just
Do it.
Great wingman.
Alright, I guess I'll go do it. Do him, no. Do dates.
Whatever you and he want to do. And I think that's it.
You got the arms too? Oh, yes,
Mhm.
looks very nice.
Time flies, does it not?
Thank you for the conversation.
Of course.
And if you...
The paste will wear off within about an hour. It will sting, but it will not be nearly as bad as if you had felt the entire thing.
Yes. I mean... You see it. It's not like it's not...
There.
I can't breathe that deeply. The smell bothers me.
But through
Thank
the
you.
mouth.
Thank you, Grave.
Of course.
And if you have any date ideas, maybe... I think it'd be nice if Elle planned something. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Then tell him that you want him to plan something.
Don't ask Crow for tips. Just don't.
Elle is many things. And I do think that being direct is a good course of action.
Well, I have been told by many people that I am very direct, including yourself.
What
I
a pair
believe.
you make.
Thank you, and
And he'll give a gentle hug, being careful about the tattoo spanning your shoulders.
yeah, and
Which, because you've drawn it,
I have.
and Noah can put it on screen to show what just was put
I hate
on
when you guys
her back.
Noah, edit!
on the screen.
I mean,
Now!
maybe. I don't know. I drew it on a
always
piece
forget.
of copy paper with colored pencils. It's not very good.
It
cares?
looks
looks
really
lovely.
good.
Well, yeah, because you drew the actual
I'm
back
gonna go
part.
grab it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it right now.
To do what with it? Just hold
Put
it up?
it,
Yes.
Yeah.
put it in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll suffice. That way Noah doesn't have to do anything with it.
Yes,
Because then it
thank
would
you.
involve scanning it in and all that, and our printer's not a really
Oh,
good
I
scanner.
hate our printer.
Yeah.
So
Take a picture of it. Who cares?
I do.
No one cares.
I care a lot about this.
I haven't
Knowing you.
designed like the arms, but I imagine like it go like basically the
Well, because the
swirls
arms
on
are going
it.
to be a different one.
Well, yeah, but I imagine it
But yes.
instead
you
of
now
being
have
like
a-
under like on her forearm, it goes down like basically to her elbow.
You see that? Is that pretty cool? Is it in focus?
Is that the right one? Hold on, I don't think that's the right one.
Let me.
It was the top one, so I assume.
No, I don't think that's the right one. It's very similar, but I have another
it's
one.
kind of like this, but it's a little.
It's
bit
essentially it's the design that was on the fountain,
Uh huh.
like those motifs and swirls on her back,
Something like.
with the Altius beacon,
with the Altius beacon sort
General
of
idea.
just
some moon
below,
imagery.
just
You'll
below
probably
the
see some
Cerulean
artwork of it at
Concord
some point.
brand on the back of her neck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that.
And
Yes, I
the
do.
the tattoo gives you resistance to fire.
Resistance to fire damage.
Yep.
And
Nice.
then the extending down her
There you go.
her arms, the bracers of celerity. So increase my movement speed by 10 feet. And give me advantage on saving throws against being paralyzed.
Oh, that's good.
There's also stars
Yeah.
because it has to do with the nighttime, and then there's swirls because it has to do with water.
Yes. Thank you.
Does that work?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Um,
I'm very good at art. I can analyze these things and
Yes.
figure out the deep meanings.
you
of
took whole classes for it.
Wow.
And I think
And
we're going to skip over the summer.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
Not enough important things will happen.
yeah. When you come back, there is, or rather, on your first day back, Cersei is there. And so the main hall where you usually meet, you can see rows of classrooms. That is typically where you meet for those. That includes, some fighting rooms, includes equipment stuff and all that. Hovering in the middle of everything is the finished device that you saw her working on.
So she just brought the whole thing to the school?
That's what it's for.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be for like our private use.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought she was just going to
That's
hang
special.
on to it and then just tell us when things happen.
Yeah.
But there's a ceremony. This will allow all of you to help stop crises before they happen.
Crises.
To know when something is going to go wrong. And save many more lives. Headmaster, if you would do the honors. And he steps forward and waves his hand, and you see multiple concentric rings start to rotate and spin around as a map of Arklands is displayed on the floor in a holographic, and it is a somewhat 3D map where you can see hills and valleys and mountains.
Cool.
Nice.
And eventually the spinning and rotating rings become a whir. And tiny little faint blips begin appearing on the map. And here we are. Faint blips are something that could be helped with, but there will be not much need to worry about. And especially if no teams are assigned, messages will be sent from here to those locations, warning of potential impact. Thankfully, it should only need to be of use if there is a item of particular. And as she is speaking, she gets interrupted by a pillar of red marking a specific point on the map that you see.
Is mine again?
Mazdalan. The capital city of Almasatar.
Bloody course.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh!
Thank you all
Carol
very,
tie-in?
very much for joining us, and I will see you next time. Good night!